Listen to my voice. It is a quiet night. Close your eyes. Take a deep, slow breath. Relax your body and mind. English words are floating around you. They are soft and easy. You are learning while you sleep. Welcome to your English dream. A girl lives in a small house. Her name is Sweet Little Lily. Lily is 9 years old today. Her house is near a green forest. Lily walks in the big garden often. She loves to read books outside. Today is a very sunny morning. Lily goes to find a book now. She sees an old, dusty book. This book sits high on a shelf. The cover is dark green and blue. The title word says Secrets. Lily takes the old, heavy book. She sits down on the wooden chair. She opens the thick, yellow pages. The book shows many strange pictures. There are drawings of old trees. It also has pictures of flowers. Lily looks at the book quietly. Something small falls out suddenly. It is a quiet, small clink. A very old key is on the floor. The key is made of silver metal. It has a pretty flower shape. Lily holds the cool, smooth key. It feels like a small treasure. She wonders what the key opens. Maybe it opens a big chest. Or perhaps it is for a door. The garden has a tall wall. This wall is made of large stones. It is covered in thick green ivy. Lily walks to the back wall. She checks every part carefully. She sees very thick ivy there. Lily pushes the heavy leaves away. She finds a small, dark door. The door is old and very short. It has a round, rusty metal lock. The lock looks very old too. Lily's heart beats very fast now. She puts the silver key inside. The key fits perfectly well there. She turns the key to the right now. The rusty lock makes a soft click. The small lock is now open. Lily is very happy and excited. She pushes the heavy wooden door. The door moves with a slow noise. Light shows a new, hidden path. This path goes into a secret place. The air smells of sweet flowers. It is a quiet, new garden area. Lily did not know this existed. Many flowers grow brightly here. The flowers are red and blue now. A tall, old apple tree stands there. Under the tree is a stone bench. The bench looks very comfortable. Lily steps onto the secret path. She closes the door behind her. She does not want to be seen. Lily walks to the old apple tree. Small birds sing a soft song. Lily feels very calm and safe. She smiles at the pretty flowers. This garden is her new secret. She sits down on the cool bench. She places the book beside her. Lily listens to the singing birds. She closes her eyes very softly. The warm sun touches her face. She thinks about the silver key. The key found this safe garden. She opens her eyes quickly again. The book has pictures of these flowers. The old book is a garden map. Lily turns the page gently now. There is a picture of a pond. The pond has a stone edge. Lily looks around the area. She sees a pond behind a bush. She walks to the small pond now. Orange fish swim in the water. She touches the cool, clear water. The fish swim close to her hand. The sun is now high up above. Lily realizes she is hungry now. She stands up from the stone edge. She puts the key in her pocket. Lily walks back to the wooden door. She steps into her regular garden. She quietly locks the door again. She covers the door with thick ivy. The door is completely hidden now. Lily runs quickly to her house. She eats a big, tasty sandwich. She drinks a full glass of milk. Lily does not tell her mother yet. She goes back to her bedroom. She opens the green, old book. She finds a small, new note inside. The note says, "Find the bench." It says, "Lift the bench. Find the next." Lily smiles at this new mystery. She waits for the quiet evening. She hides the book under her pillow. She holds the key in her hand. The key is her start to adventure. Lily dreams of her secret garden. She waits for the evening time. The warm sun was now going down slowly. Lily woke up from her nice, deep sleep. The room was quiet and getting dark now. It was the perfect time for secrets. Lily took the silver key and old book. She put on her warm, comfortable shoes quietly. Lily walked across the garden to the wall. She found the thick green ivy covering the wall. She pushed the heavy green leaves away carefully. The small, dark door appeared again quickly. She put the key into the rusty metal lock. The old lock opened with a soft, quiet sound. Lily pushed the heavy door and stepped inside. The cool evening air smelled very sweet here. Long shadows covered the quiet secret path. Lily walked toward the tall, old apple tree. She saw the big, gray stone bench waiting. She remembered the secret note from the book. The note said, "Lift the bench. Find the thing." Lily stood in front of the very heavy bench. Moving this stone would be very hard work. She tried to push the bench with her hands. The heavy bench did not move at all first. She used all her power to push the stone. The bench moved just a very small distance. She saw a small, dark space underneath it. Within this space was a square stone tile. Lily pushed the bench a little more now. She knelt down on the cool, soft grass. She touched the gray stone tile gently. The tile had a rusty small metal ring attached. Lily grasped the metal ring with both hands. She pulled up, and the heavy tile lifted easily. A small, dark hole appeared underneath the stone. The deep hole was lined neatly with smooth stones. There was a small, dusty wooden box inside the hole. Lily carefully reached in and took the box out. The wooden box was light and quite plain. It had no lock, and the lid was simple. Lily was excited to open the small box. Lily wanted to open the small wooden box. She placed the light box on the cool stone bench. The box was not locked with the silver key. She lifted the simple wooden lid slowly now. Inside, she saw two very interesting new things. One item was a small silver heart locket. The locket hung on a thin, delicate chain. The other item was a piece of folded yellow paper. This paper was tied with a piece of old string. Lily picked up the cool metal locket first. She held the small heart in her gentle hand softly. She pressed the locket's clasp with her small finger. The silver locket would not open easily at all. She decided to wear the locket safely around her neck. She put the thin chain on her neck now gently. The cool silver rested against her skin very softly. Then she took the old, yellow paper next. She slowly untied the small piece of brown string. Lily unfolded the paper very carefully and slowly. The old writing was still very clear to read. The mysterious note gave her a brand new clue. It said, "The clear water holds the true secret." The note also said to look for where the water flows. Lily immediately thought about the quiet garden pond now. She knew the round pond was behind the lilac bush. She quickly stood up from the hard stone bench. Lily walked toward the sweet-smelling lilac bush. The pond looked very dark in the evening light. She went to the pond's smooth stone edge. Lily looked closely at the water's surface there. She saw a tiny stream of clean, fresh water flowing. The gentle stream entered the pond quietly now. Lily followed the small stream backward slowly now. It led her through the soft, green grass area. The stream went towards a patch of tall, bright flowers. She pushed aside some thick, sweet-smelling flowers. A small, strange stone fountain was completely hidden. The fountain was carved like a small, sleeping fish. The smooth stone fish had its mouth open wide. Clean water flowed from the fish's open mouth. The small stream came from the fish fountain. Lily noticed a flat, small stone below the fish. This stone was directly beneath the water's flow. Lily touched the stone with her small hand softly. This flat stone was not fixed tightly in the ground. She knew this must be the right new hiding spot. It was getting too dark for her to see well now. She knew she must wait until the morning light. Lily placed the small wooden box back again. She put the box carefully into the dark hole. She covered the hole with the square stone tile. She pushed the heavy bench back to its first spot. The silver locket felt secure and cool on her neck. She smiled, thinking about the sleeping stone fish. Lily quietly left the secret, dark garden now. She locked the wooden door with her silver key. She covered the door with the thick green ivy. The garden wall looked solid and very safe again. Lily happily ran back to her small, warm house. She was very excited to start the next part. She went into her room and looked at the locket. She still wondered what the locket held inside. She looked forward to the bright, early morning. She hid the old book under her soft, warm pillow. She wanted to rest and prepare for tomorrow. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath. She dreamed of the fish fountain and the flowers. The garden secrets waited for her to return. Lily felt calm and safe in her quiet room. The small locket was cold against her skin. She slowly drifted off to sleep now. The night was peaceful and very quiet. The secret was safe until morning light. She decided to wake up very early. She will go back to the hidden fountain. She will move the loose stone tomorrow morning. She will find out what secret it is hiding. The small stone fish waits for her visit. The old garden holds many more secrets. The locket is a piece of the mystery. The old book guided her every step. Lily is ready for the next adventure. She is a brave and clever young girl. The soft night air cools her small room. The long shadows are now very still. She thinks of the blue and red flowers. She hears the wind in the tall trees. The sound is very soft and comforting. She is learning new English words now. Her mind is quiet and very focused. She will remember the words easily. She is resting while she is learning. She feels the power of the small key. It led her to this beautiful place. The whole garden is her big secret. She will explore it all very soon. The morning sun will bring the answer. She sleeps deeply and very soundly now. Her English dream is very peaceful. The secrets are safe in the darkness. Lily is ready for tomorrow's light. The journey continues in the morning. Everything is calm and very still now. The silver key is resting nearby. The sleeping fish waits patiently now. Lily is learning and sleeping well. She is having a good, quiet night. The dream is full of new words. She will wake up remembering them. This is the end of this part now. The morning sun brought a bright, new day. Lily woke up feeling rested and excited now. She quickly ate a small, simple breakfast. The silver locket felt cool around her neck. She took the old green book with her quickly. Lily quietly went out to the front garden. She walked straight to the high stone wall. The thick green ivy was easily pushed away. She saw the small, dark door waiting there. Lily used the flower key to unlock the door. The familiar lock clicked open very softly now. She stepped into the quiet, secret garden. The morning air smelled fresh and clean there. The small birds were singing a loud, happy song. Lily closed the wooden door behind her again. She walked quickly towards the lilac bush area. The round pond water looked very clear today. She soon found the hidden stone fountain. The little stream still flowed from the fish's mouth. Lily knelt beside the carved stone fish now. She looked closely at the loose, flat stone. The stone was dark and sat right below the water. This stone was certainly the next piece of the clue. Lily reached out and touched the cool stone. She put her fingers under the edge carefully. She lifted the small, flat stone very easily. The stone came up without any loud sound. Underneath, she found a small silk pouch. The pouch was made of beautiful red fabric. It looked very old but still very soft. Lily carefully picked up the silk pouch now. It felt soft and light in her small hands. She gently untied the thin string on top. She carefully opened the beautiful red pouch. Inside, she saw something shining brightly. It was a single, smooth, black marble. The marble was perfectly round and very heavy. Lily held the cool, dark marble for a moment. She looked at the smooth surface intently. There was also a small, tightly rolled paper. The tiny paper was tied with a dark thread. Lily put the black marble safely in her pocket. She took the small, rolled paper carefully now. She slowly untied the dark, thin thread. She unrolled the little paper very gently. The old writing was smaller this time. The message was still very easy to read. It said, "The high place holds the next clue." The note also said to look for the tallest tree. Lily thought about the big apple tree now. It was the highest thing in the secret garden. She looked up at the tree's thick, strong branches. The tree was very tall and quite old now. She knew she had to climb the high tree. Lily put the note carefully into the pouch. She tucked the red silk pouch into her pocket too. She went over to the tall apple tree now. The trunk was thick and a little bit rough. Lily found a strong, low branch to start. She carefully grabbed the strong wood and pulled. She lifted her body up easily and quickly. She sat on the first branch for a moment. She looked around the quiet, small garden. Lily then climbed higher into the large tree. The thick leaves provided cool, green shade. She climbed until she was quite high up. She sat safely on a strong, thick branch now. From here, she could see the entire wall. She looked down at the round stone pond. She looked over the high stone wall now. She tried to find something secret and new. She saw nothing strange on the thick branches. She carefully looked at the main tree trunk. Lily saw a small, strange indentation there. It was a shallow hole in the gray bark. The hole was round and just the right size. It was the same size as her black marble. Lily took the smooth, black marble out. She slowly pressed the marble into the hole. The marble fit perfectly and snugly inside. The indentation was now completely full. Nothing happened immediately right then. Lily waited quietly on the high branch. Suddenly, she heard a soft, scraping sound. The sound came from the high tree trunk now. A small part of the bark slowly slid open. It revealed a small, tiny wooden compartment. Inside the compartment was another paper. This paper was folded into a small square. Lily quickly took the little paper now. She opened the small, tight square fold. She read the words written carefully there. The note said, "The key to the final step." It also said, "The sun's shadow will show you." Lily knew she needed to be patient now. She climbed carefully down the tall tree. She walked back to the stone bench now. Lily sat down to wait for the sun. The shadow clue needed the right time. She felt very happy with her progress now. The hidden secret was very close. She touched the cool locket on her neck. She thought about the black, smooth marble. This secret garden was full of wonders. She decided to check the old book again. The answer might be hidden in the pictures. She carefully opened the green cover again. She waited for the sun to move slowly. This was the most mysterious clue yet. Lily sat quietly on the cool stone bench now. The morning sun was climbing higher slowly. She was waiting for the time of the shadows. The final clue needed the sun's position. The note said the shadow will show her the way. Lily opened the old green book again gently. She looked at all the strange flower pictures. She studied the drawings of the tall trees now. Everything looked familiar, but she saw nothing new. She touched the cool silver locket on her neck. It felt like a small sign of her progress. Lily suddenly remembered the picture of the pond. She opened the page with the water drawing. She looked closely at the drawn stone edge. The drawing showed a mark on one large stone. The mark was like a small, smooth arrow shape. Lily stood up from the hard stone bench quickly. She walked back towards the quiet, round pond. She looked at the stones around the water edge now. She searched for the smooth arrow marking carefully. Finally, she found the right stone near the fish. It was a large, flat stone right near the water. On its surface was a small, smooth arrow. The arrow was carved pointing toward the grass area. Lily knew this must be part of the final clue. She looked at the sun high above the tall wall. The sun was now directly above the apple tree. She looked down at the shadow of the tall tree. The long, dark shadow stretched across the garden. The shadow touched the arrow stone perfectly. The tip of the tree's shadow covered the carved arrow. This was the moment the mysterious note meant. Lily followed the long, dark shadow quickly now. She walked along the shadow to its very end. The dark shadow ended right by the tall stone wall. The shadow finished precisely under a small rose bush. The rose bush was full of red, bright flowers. Lily knelt down near the beautiful rose bush. She carefully looked at the ground beneath it. The soil was soft and quite dark and easy to move. She reached out her hands to feel the dirt. She felt something hard and flat right there. Lily started digging the soft soil away now. She dug quickly with her small, eager hands. Soon, she uncovered a small, flat wooden cover. The wood was dark and covered in a little moss. She wiped the soft dirt off the flat cover now. The cover had a small, round metal handle. Lily put her hand on the cold metal handle. She pulled the handle up slowly and gently now. The wooden cover lifted up without a sound. It revealed a hidden stone staircase below her. The narrow stairs led down into darkness now. Lily knew this was the final part of her journey. She looked back at the small, quiet garden. The garden had revealed all of its sweet secrets. She held the small wooden cover up now. Lily climbed carefully down the stone steps. The air below was cool and felt very dry. She went down about 12 stone steps slowly. At the bottom, she found a small stone floor. The space was like a small, round stone room. There was a little light coming from the top. She could see a stone table in the room. On the small stone table sat a wooden chest. The chest was big and made of dark wood. It was definitely a very important treasure chest. The chest had a large, heavy metal lock. The lock was old and looked very strong now. Lily immediately thought about her silver key. She took the flower key from her pocket now. She held the key tight in her small hand. She walked over to the large wooden chest. She put the silver key into the big lock now. The key fit perfectly inside the lock easily. She turned the key slowly to the right side. The large metal lock made a loud clunk sound. The heavy lock was now completely open. Lily felt excitement bubble up in her heart now. She lifted the heavy wooden chest lid now. The sound echoed softly in the small room. She looked inside the dark, open chest carefully. The chest was not full of old, silver coins. It was not full of gold jewels or shining stones. The chest contained a pile of old paper. There was a big, thick, leather-bound book inside. The book was much older than the first green book. On top of the papers was a folded letter. Lily carefully took the letter from the chest. She unfolded the old paper with soft hands. She knew this was the secret of the garden. Lily held the old, yellowed letter carefully now. She knew this paper held the true answer. She slowly unfolded the delicate piece of paper. The handwriting was elegant and very old. It was written by her great-grandmother, Anna. Lily's great-grandmother created this garden. She also wrote the first green book long ago. The letter explained all the hidden steps. The key, the locket, the marble, the shadows. All the clues were left for her descendant. Anna wanted to leave a special legacy. She wanted to test the spirit of the finder. Lily had shown bravery and quick thinking. The letter said the garden was a gift. It was a safe place built with much love. Anna built it for quiet reflection and peace. The thick leather book was a journal. It told the full story of the garden's creation. The papers were drawings of new flower types. Anna had been a wonderful artist and gardener. The chest held no gold or shining jewels. The real treasure was the place itself now. The secret garden was now truly Lily's own. The letter told her to read the big book. The journal contained many more secrets still. Lily felt a wave of deep, quiet happiness. She was not disappointed by the lack of gold. This beautiful secret garden was much better. She was connected to her great-grandmother now. She wore the silver locket with pride and love. She felt the smooth, black marble in her pocket. Lily carefully placed the letter back now. She took the large leather journal out. The book was very heavy and felt important. She opened the thick, leather cover gently. The first page had a beautiful inscription. It said, "Welcome to your sanctuary, Lily." Lily smiled very widely at the message. Her great-grandmother knew her name now. The next pages were filled with detailed notes. Anna wrote about every flower and every tree. She described where she placed every stone. Lily learned about the fountain and the pond. She read about the secret stone steps too. The journal told her to cherish the peace. Anna wrote that peace is the true wealth. Lily wanted to stay and read every word. The small stone room felt warm and very safe. The garden above was quiet and very still. Lily knew she should return to the light now. She carefully closed the big, leather journal. She put the journal back in the wooden chest. She placed the letter and papers neatly inside. She gently closed the heavy chest lid now. Lily locked the chest with her silver key. She wanted the secrets to stay very safe. She walked back to the stone steps slowly. She climbed the 12 stone steps carefully. She lifted the wooden cover back up now. She stepped out into the bright garden light. Lily covered the steps with the wooden cover. She quickly piled the soft, dark soil back. She covered everything with the rose bush again. The garden floor looked perfectly normal now. No one would ever know the secret room. Lily walked toward the old apple tree again. She reached up and took the black marble out. The tree bark closed up immediately now. She put the marble in a red silk pouch. She walked toward the pond and the fountain. She replaced the small stone under the water. The stream flowed calmly over the dark stone. Lily checked that everything was back in place. She stood in the center of the quiet garden. The air felt charged with new meaning now. She felt a deep connection to her family. The garden was a very precious, strong link. Lily decided to make a solemn promise. She would care for the garden always now. She would keep the old secret very safe. She would read the journal every single day. She would learn all the gardening secrets. Lily touched the locket on her gentle neck. She held the silver flower key tightly. This key opened much more than just a door. It opened a new chapter in her young life. The garden waited patiently for her return. She stepped back through the wooden door now. She locked the door one last time gently. Lily smiled at the thick green ivy. She walked happily back to her warm house. Her great adventure was only just beginning. The magic of the garden stayed with her. She felt ready for many new things now. She knew where she truly belonged now. The secret garden key was the best gift. Lily was back in her small, quiet house now. The sun was fully high in the blue sky. She was very eager to read the big journal. The heavy, leather-bound book waited for her. Lily took the large book to her bedroom now. She sat down comfortably on her soft bed. She gently opened the thick, old cover again. The book smelled faintly of old paper and flowers. She turned the first few written pages slowly. The journal writing was beautiful and careful. Anna wrote about the garden's main purpose. It was designed to teach peaceful living. Lily started reading the very first lesson. The lesson was titled "Listen to the Earth." Anna wrote that the earth speaks softly. It tells you what each plant truly needs. Lily learned that plants also need rest. She read about the natural cycles of growth. The journal described a very special flower now. This flower only grew near the stone fountain. Anna called it the moon petal flower. This flower needed very dark, rich soil. It also needed water from the stone fish. But most importantly, it needed quiet rest. It grew strong only when the world was silent. Anna wrote that the flower was quite rare. She said its blue petals shone at night. The flower had not bloomed in many long years. Lily felt a new task was waiting for her. She wanted to make the moon petal bloom now. She needed to find the quiet, dark soil first. The journal had a small, detailed drawing. The drawing showed a hidden spot near the wall. This spot was not far from the wooden door. The rich, dark soil was buried deep there. Anna wrote that this soil was very special. It held all the food the flower would need. Lily closed the big, leather journal now. She put on her outdoor shoes very quickly. She took the silver flower key and her trowel. She went back out to the high garden wall now. She unlocked the small wooden door again. Lily stepped into her quiet, secret garden. She closed the door and locked it behind her. She walked to the wall near the entrance. She found the area shown in the small drawing. It was right under a large ivy plant now. Lily used her small trowel to dig carefully. The soil on top was thin and very dry. She dug deeper, following the journal's map. Soon, she found the dark, rich soil now. The soil was almost black and felt very cool. It was heavy and smelled strongly of the earth. Lily used the trowel to fill the red pouch. The small silk pouch was now full of rich soil. She walked toward the hidden stone fountain now. She found the delicate moon petal plant there. It was small and looked very tired now. The leaves were a pale and gentle green color. Lily gently removed the dry topsoil now. She poured the dark, rich soil around the base. She carefully smoothed the soil with her hands. Now the plant had the special food it needed. The fountain water was already flowing nearby. The plant was now resting peacefully there. Lily felt she had completed the first step. She smiled, feeling very proud of herself. She learned a valuable, quiet lesson today. Patience and care are very important tools. The garden was truly a place of learning. She touched the cool silver locket gently. It reminded her of her great-grandmother's love. She knew she would read more of the journal. There were many more lessons she needed to learn. She decided to go back to her house now. Lily locked the wooden door with her silver key. She walked back, feeling calm and peaceful. She looked forward to reading the next lesson. She hoped the rare flower would bloom soon. Lily walked back into her small, quiet house now. She went straight to the comfortable bed again. The heavy leather journal was waiting patiently there. She was very eager to read the next lesson. Lily gently opened the thick, old book again. She turned the page slowly to the next part. The third lesson had a very interesting title. It was called The Memory Vessel. Anna wrote about the silver heart locket now. Lily touched the cool locket around her neck. Anna explained the locket was a special gift. It was meant to hold dear, precious memories. The locket was not just a simple decoration. It held a hidden, deep compartment inside. Lily tried to open the locket again gently. She pressed the clasp with her strong finger. The silver locket still would not open at all. Anna explained the special mechanism in the book. The locket needed a certain stone to open. The stone was near the pond and the fish fountain. It was a smooth, flat stone by the water's edge. Lily needed to place the locket upon it. The magic of the stone would open the lock. Lily closed the big journal immediately now. She had to try this new discovery quickly. She took the journal and the silver key. She quickly went back to the quiet garden. She unlocked the small wooden door again. Lily walked quickly to the pond area now. She found the beautiful stone fish fountain. She looked at all the stones near the water. She was searching for a specific flat stone. She remembered the stone near the arrow mark. She knelt down by the pond's cold water. Lily found the smooth, cool, flat stone now. It was perfectly placed right by the water. She carefully took the silver locket off. She laid the small locket on the flat stone. She waited quietly for just a moment there. A tiny click sound came from the locket. The silver heart slowly opened itself now. Lily gasped softly at the sight inside. Inside the small locket were two things. One was a very tiny, folded picture. The other item was a very small, gold key. Lily carefully lifted the tiny picture out. It was an old photo of a smiling woman. The woman had kind eyes like young Lily's eyes. It was her great-grandmother, dear Anna. Lily smiled happily at the small picture. Anna was smiling her love to Lily. Lily put the tiny picture back safely. Then she took out the small gold key. The key was shiny and very delicate now. It was smaller than the silver flower key. She wondered what this small key opened. Lily looked back at the large leather journal. She noticed a tiny clasp on the side. The clasp was a small, delicate gold lock. The small gold key was for the journal itself. Anna kept the deepest secrets locked safely. Lily was now ready for the deepest secrets. She carefully put the small gold key in. The tiny key turned easily in the gold lock. The journal was now completely unlocked and safe. Lily put the locket back around her neck. She put the small gold key into her pocket. She smiled at the gentle fish fountain nearby. The garden still held many secrets for her. She knew the next lesson would be important. She walked slowly back to the wooden door now. She locked the garden door with the silver key. She left the garden and went back home quickly. Lily was ready for the deepest lessons now. The heavy journal waited for her in the room. She was excited for the final big parts. She would learn about her family history now. The garden was a gift of deep knowledge. She touched the locket with great happiness. The secrets made her feel very peaceful. She knew patience was truly the key. The moon petal was quietly growing now. The sun blossom seed waited in the ground. Lily was ready to read about the future. Lily sat back down on her soft bed now. She opened the leather journal carefully now. The small gold key had unlocked new pages. These pages held the very final lessons. The last lesson was about giving back. Anna wrote that a garden is a living gift. It needs constant care and gentle renewal. The final secret was about the future now. Anna explained that the garden needed one thing. It needed a specific, new, rare seed. This seed was called the Star-Keeper bloom. This flower would make the garden last forever. The Star-Keeper bloom would keep all the magic safe. The seed was hidden in the big apple tree. Anna said to look high in the main fork. The seed was inside a tiny wooden box. This box was sealed with soft wax now. Lily knew she had to find this final seed. She quickly put the gold key in her pocket. She took her silver key and went outside now. She walked quickly back to the stone wall. She unlocked the small door easily now. She stepped into the quiet, sunny garden. She looked up at the old, tall apple tree. The thick branches reached for the high sky. Lily climbed the strong tree carefully now. She went high up to the thick central fork. She looked closely at the gray, rough bark there. She saw a small, round wooden box hidden. The box was tucked tightly into the wood. The box was sealed shut with clear, old wax. Lily carefully worked the box loose now. She brought the tiny box down slowly. She sat on the stone bench and examined it. She gently scraped off the old wax now. She slowly opened the small wooden box. Inside was a single, tiny, shining seed. The seed glowed softly, like a small star. This was the Star-Keeper bloom seed now. Lily held the precious seed very safely. The journal said where to plant the seed. It must be planted where shadows do not fall. It needed pure sunlight all day long. Lily looked at the brightest spot now. It was a clear area near the fish fountain. She walked over to the chosen sunny spot. She dug a small, perfect, shallow hole there. She placed the shiny seed inside gently. Lily covered the seed with dark, rich soil. She poured a little clear water on top. Now the whole garden's future was planted. Lily had completed every single task now. She had passed her great-grandmother's test. She felt a deep sense of great pride now. She looked at the moon petal plant softly. The small leaves looked greener and stronger now. The sun blossom seed waited in the high hill. The garden was ready for new, bright growth. Lily smiled at the old apple tree now. She looked at the tall, gray stone wall. The entire garden felt truly alive now. She touched the silver locket on her neck. She held the silver key in her right hand. The key was no longer just an object. It was a symbol of trust and new life. Lily knew her big adventure had finished. But her work in the garden was just starting. She would care for the garden every day now. She would read Anna's journal and learn more. She would cherish the quiet and the peace. The garden was her beautiful, quiet sanctuary. She stood up and stretched her tired body. It was time to rest and read the journal. She walked to the wooden door slowly now. She carefully locked the door one final time. She covered the door with the ivy gently. She left the peaceful garden behind her. Lily walked back to her house with peace. The garden secrets were safe in her heart. She went to her room and opened the book. She read the final beautiful words now. Anna wrote, "The key is the love you put in." Lily understood everything very clearly. She closed the journal and sighed softly. The magic of the garden was now complete. She knew her life was forever changed now. She lay down on her soft bed to rest. She held the small locket very tightly. She dreamed of all the beautiful flowers. She dreamed of the stars and the bright sun. The small girl was now the garden's keeper. She fell into a deep, peaceful sleep now. Her heart was full of quiet happiness. The garden was safe until she returned. This was the end of Lily's first journey. A boy named Tom lives by the sea. He lives in a small coastal town. Tom has bright, curious, blue eyes. He loves walking on the beach every day. The sea air is cool and very fresh. He collects smooth, gray stones and shells. Tom is 10 years old and very active. One cloudy morning, Tom goes out. He walks near the old, quiet harbor. He sees an old, small, dusty shop. The shop sells many antique things. Tom decides to look inside quickly. The small shop is dark and smells old. A kind, quiet man works there. Tom looks at the shelves carefully now. He sees many strange and old objects. There are rusty compasses and old ropes. He sees a box full of old paper. Tom looks through the papers slowly now. He finds one paper that is different. It is a very old, small, rolled-up map. The paper feels very thin and quite rough. Tom carefully unrolls the map gently now. The map shows the area near his town. It shows the coast and the dark sea. But it also shows one extra thing. There is a tall lighthouse drawn there. This lighthouse is not the famous one. It is marked as the Whispering Light. Tom has never heard of this place. The lighthouse is far out on the coast. It is drawn on a tiny, remote island. The map has a small, dark X mark. The X is right next to the tall lighthouse. Tom asks the kind man about the map. The man says it is very, very old. He does not know the small island. Tom feels very interested in this map. He decides to buy the old, rough map now. He pays the man his small savings. Tom leaves the dusty, dark shop quickly. He walks quickly home along the beach. He looks at the old map in his hands. He traces the drawing of the light with his finger. He feels a strange excitement growing inside. This map feels like a real adventure. Tom goes to the small kitchen table. He spreads the old map out flat. He notices tiny, strange symbols now. They look like very small, dark fish shapes. The fish point towards the small island now. Tom knows he must find this old lighthouse. He needs to find out what the X means. The mysterious island is far from the shore. He needs a boat to travel there now. Tom's father has a small, sturdy fishing boat. The boat is called the Blue Wave always. Tom decides he must ask his kind father now. His father is a strong and busy fisherman. Asking for the boat will be very difficult. Tom waits for his father to come home now. The afternoon passes very slowly for Tom. He looks at the map many times again. He dreams of the remote, quiet island now. He imagines the tall, silent lighthouse. Finally, his father walks into the house. Tom hides the old map under his shirt. His father looks tired after his long work. Tom takes a deep, steady breath now. He knows he must ask the question quickly. He feels his heart beat very fast now. This secret is very important to Tom. Tom looked at his tired, quiet father now. He knew he had to ask very carefully. "Father," Tom said slowly and very softly, "can I use the blue wave tomorrow?" His father looked at him with surprise now. "The boat is for fishing, not playing," he said. Tom held the old map tight in his hand. "I need to find a small island now." Tom showed his father the old map quickly. He pointed to the small, remote island. His father looked at the map carefully now. He saw the drawing of the strange lighthouse. "I have never seen this island before," he said. "It is not marked on new charts." Tom felt a new hope growing inside him. He explained the map found in the shop. He told his father about the X mark. His father thought about it for a long time. He saw the excitement in Tom's bright eyes. "The sea can be rough, Tom," he warned. "You must be very careful and wise." Tom promised to be completely careful now. "I will return before the sun sets," he said. His father finally agreed to let him go. "Take the boat, but be safe always," he said. Tom felt great joy and deep relief now. He thanked his kind father very much. He prepared the small fishing boat quickly. He packed some warm food and fresh water. He took his compass and warm coat too. The old map was safe in his pocket now. The next morning, the sky was clear and bright. The sea was calm and very quiet now. Tom went down to the harbor very early. He climbed into the blue wave quickly now. He started the boat's motor with a quick pull. The small boat moved away from the harbor. Tom waved
"Goodbye"
to his sleeping town. He looked at the old map again and again. The map showed him the correct direction. Tom followed the strange fish symbols now. The boat moved smoothly over the cool, blue water. The mainland coast slowly grew smaller now. Tom sailed for a very long time alone. The sea was peaceful and very wide now. He felt like a true, brave explorer. He ate his small lunch on the quiet boat. He watched the white sea birds flying high. Finally, he saw something new appear now. A tall, gray shape grew on the horizon. It was the small, mysterious island now. The island was rocky and quite dark. A very tall, slender tower stood on it. This tower was the silent, old lighthouse. Tom felt his heart beat very fast now. He slowly steered the small boat closer. The waves became rougher near the island. The old map was completely accurate now. He saw a small, hidden rocky bay. It was the best place to land the boat. Tom carefully drove the boat into the bay. He threw the heavy anchor into the sea. The boat stopped moving and was now safe. Tom climbed out onto the cold, gray rocks. The island air felt very still and quiet. He secured the blue wave with a strong rope. He took the old map from his warm pocket. He looked up at the tall, gray tower now. The tower stood high above the rough rocks. It looked much older up close now. No light was shining from its high top. The old lighthouse was clearly in use now. Tom started walking towards the tall tower. The rocks were hard and very sharp to walk on. He knew the adventure was truly beginning now. He could hear the ocean waves softly crashing. He could also hear a strange, soft noise. It sounded like a quiet, gentle whisper. The whispers came from the silent tower. This place was the whispering light now. Tom walked toward the tall, gray lighthouse now. The rocks under his shoes felt very sharp. The strange whispering sound grew louder here. It seemed to come from the tower's stone itself. The lighthouse was built of rough, dark stones. It stood very high against the bright sky. The heavy, wooden entrance door was closed. The old wood looked cracked and very thick. Tom pushed the heavy wooden door now. The door did not move even a little bit. It was clearly locked firmly and strongly. Tom looked for a different way inside now. He walked all the way around the cold tower. He saw the tower had small, high windows. They were too small and too high to reach. He kept hearing the strange, soft whispers. The sound seemed to be the moving wind. But the air was very still and quiet now. Tom looked down at the old map again now. He remembered the small, dark X mark. The X was drawn right next to the tower's base. Tom walked to the spot next to the lighthouse. He looked closely at the gray, rough stone ground. The ground was covered with tiny, dark pebbles. Tom started moving the small, dark stones away. He used his strong hands to clear the ground now. He slowly uncovered a big, flat, square stone. This stone was different from the rocks nearby. It looked like a solid, thick stone slab now. He looked closely at the large, flat stone. He saw a small, strange symbol carved on it. The symbol looked exactly like a small keyhole. It was very hard to see under the small stones. Tom reached into his warm jacket pocket. He remembered the silver key from his home. No, he only had the map and the compass. This small keyhole was very specific now. Tom stood up and looked at the map again. He looked at the drawing of the light closely. The lighthouse drawing showed a small detail. It showed a tiny, shining hook on the door. Tom walked back to the heavy wooden door now. He examined the old wood carefully now. He felt the cold wood with his hand. Yes, there was a small, rusty metal hook there. The hook was almost invisible under the dirt. Tom used a small, sharp stone to clean it. He wiped away the dirt and old dust now. The small hook was made of dark, old iron. Tom carefully touched the rusty iron hook now. The hook felt loose and could move slightly. He pulled the small iron hook gently. The small hook came away easily in his hand. It was not a hook but a very small rod. The rod was curved at one of its ends now. The other end was sharp and looked like a key. Tom held the small metal rod carefully now. He walked back to the square stone slab. He placed the rod's sharp end in the keyhole. The keyhole was exactly the right shape now. Tom turned the small rod gently to the right. He heard a loud, heavy clunk from below. The large, flat stone slab slowly moved now. It moved aside with a heavy, scraping sound. A dark, square opening was now visible. It was the entrance to a small cellar space. The air coming out was cool and smelled old. Tom knew this was the secret entrance now. He had found the meaning of the map's X. He climbed down into the dark, cold space. The stone steps were steep and very narrow. He held the walls to keep his balance now. He needed a light to see better down there. Tom quickly came back up to the sunlight. He grabbed a strong flashlight from the boat. He descended the narrow, stone steps again. The small cellar room was very dark now. The whispering sounds were very loud here. They sounded like many voices talking softly. The mystery of the light continued now. Tom stood in the small, dark stone cellar now. The air was cool and smelled of old salt. He turned on his strong flashlight quickly. The bright light cut through the deep darkness. He saw the room was round and quite small. The whispering sounds filled the quiet air. They came from the heavy stone walls all around. The sound was constant but very soft still. It sounded like the ocean speaking slowly. Tom walked around the small, cold room now. He carefully shone the light on the walls. The stone walls were covered with dried moss. He noticed strange carvings on the stones. The carvings were not just simple drawings. They were lines and small, round symbols. They looked like very old writing now. Tom wished he could understand the symbols. He knew they held the lighthouse's secret. He saw a small, metal table in the center. The table was rusty and very old now. On the table, he saw a wooden box. The box was flat and very dark brown. Tom walked over to the old, rusty table now. He carefully put his flashlight down there. He touched the dark, flat wooden box softly. The box had no visible lock or a handle. He tried to lift the wooden lid now. The lid was fixed and did not move easily. Tom remembered the old map clue. The map had the strange fish symbols on it. He looked back at the cold stone walls. He searched for the small fish shapes now. He found 3 small, carved fish symbols. They were carved right into the stone wall. The fish were positioned in a perfect triangle. Tom realized this was the box's secret lock. He touched the first carved fish gently now. The stone fish made a quiet, soft click sound. He touched the second carved fish next now. It also made a low, mechanical sound. Tom touched the third carved fish last now. He heard a louder, successful clunk. He quickly turned back to the wooden box. The lid of the flat box was now loose. Tom slowly lifted the dark wooden lid now. Inside, he found a special, smooth object. It was a very old, thick glass lens. The lens was perfectly round and quite heavy. It was a beautiful, deep blue color now. The glass felt smooth and cold in his hand. This beautiful blue lens was very important. It must be the core of the whispering light. There was also a small, folded piece of paper. The paper was tucked under the big blue lens. Tom carefully took out the small paper. He unfolded the small paper gently now. The writing was simple and very clear to read. The message was a very simple instruction. It said, "The light must see the sea." Tom looked up at the dark stone ceiling. He knew the lens had to go upstairs now. The light must be placed at the very top. He looked for a way to climb up there. He shone his strong flashlight high up now. He saw a circular, narrow staircase there. The staircase was made of old, cold iron. It led up through a small ceiling hole. Tom put the beautiful blue lens away now. He placed it carefully inside his warm coat. He put the small wooden box back together now. He started climbing the iron stairs slowly now. The stairs were steep and very narrow to walk on. The whispering sounds followed him closely. They grew louder with every iron step now. The mystery of the lighthouse continued. Tom was ready to face the tall tower. Tom started climbing the tall iron staircase now. The cold metal stairs felt very steep. He held on to the rusty rail firmly now. The whispering sounds were all around him. The sounds echoed loudly in the dark tower. They seemed to follow him up the long climb. Tom carried the heavy blue glass lens safely. He kept it secured inside his warm coat. The stairs wound up in a tight circle now. The climb felt very long and quite difficult. He passed many small, dark landings now. Each floor was empty and full of dust. He shone his light on the cold stone walls. He saw more strange, carved symbols there. They were the same old writing as downstairs. Tom realized the entire tower held secrets. He continued climbing, step after iron step. He felt his legs becoming very tired now. He remembered his promise to his kind father. He knew he had to finish his search now. He stopped on one landing to rest a bit. He listened to the soft, strange whispers. He tried to understand the quiet sound now. It sounded like the moving, strong sea waves. The sound seemed to come from the tower's height. Tom continued his climb up the long stairs now. He passed a small, dark wooden door now. The door was securely closed and very thick. He tried the old iron handle quickly now. The handle did not turn easily at all. Tom decided to continue his upward climb. The main goal was the top of the lighthouse. He needed to put the blue lens up there. He had to follow the simple instructions now. Finally, he saw a bright light coming down. The top of the tall tower was very near now. Tom climbed the last few heavy iron steps. He reached a small, circular platform there. This platform was the very top room now. The light came from 4 large windows there. The windows looked out over the wide sea. The view was beautiful and very wide now. He could see his small boat in the bay below. The room was not dark like the cellar now. It was filled with bright, clear morning light. In the center was a thick, metal pedestal. This pedestal was clearly meant for the light. The top of the pedestal was round and empty. It had a small, circular metal groove now. The groove was exactly the lens's size. Tom knew this was the final correct spot. He carefully took the heavy blue lens out. The glass was cool and very smooth now. He placed the lens into the metal groove now. The blue lens fit perfectly and snugly there. The lens looked beautiful on the metal base now. The morning light shone through the blue glass. The entire small room turned blue now. The blue light felt calm and very peaceful. The whispering sound suddenly stopped completely. The silence was very deep and quite strange. Tom stood still in the quiet, blue light now. He waited for something else to happen. He watched the light shining through the lens. The blue light was focused on one window. The glass lens directed the strong sunlight now. It focused a strong beam out to the wide sea. The light did not shine like a normal beacon. It sent a blue beam out to the horizon. Tom knew he had completed the first step now. The light was seeing the wide, open sea. The lighthouse was now fully awakened now. He needed to wait for the final result. Tom stood quietly in the small, blue room now. The sudden deep silence felt very strange. He watched the strong blue light beam. The blue light shot out across the wide sea. It stretched far towards the blue horizon. Tom knew he had completed the main task. He had restored the light to the old tower. He waited patiently for a few moments now. Nothing seemed to happen in the quiet room. The sun shone brightly through the blue lens. Tom felt a small sense of confusion now. Was this all the great secret contained? He started thinking about the map again. He remembered the strange fish symbols very well. He wondered if he missed a final clue. Tom walked over to the tall windows now. He looked out at the wide, open sea. The strong blue light was still shining out. Suddenly, he saw something new appear now. A bright flash reflected back at the lighthouse. The reflection came from the far horizon. It was a clear, sharp flash of white light. Tom realized the blue beam found something. The light was signaling a return message. He watched the white flash repeat 3 times. The reflection was very strong and very clear. Tom knew this was an intentional signal now. The lighthouse had finally communicated. The blue beam had hit a mirror or glass. Tom quickly looked back at the blue lens. The blue light stopped its outward shine now. Instead, the lens began to absorb light. The lens was pulling the sea's light inward. The 4 windows became very dark now. The entire room grew dim and slightly cool. The deep blue glass began to slowly glow. It glowed with a soft, internal white light now. Tom watched the lens very carefully now. The internal glow became much stronger now. Then, a sharp, white beam shot inward. The white beam shot down from the dark ceiling. It hit the small metal pedestal base now. The pedestal reacted to the white light. The smooth metal began to vibrate softly. The soft vibration grew a little bit louder. Tom heard a low, mechanical hum now. The base of the metal pedestal opened. It opened like a small, smooth door now. Inside the pedestal was a dark hole. The hole was not very deep at all. Tom bent down to look inside now. He shone his light into the dark base now. He saw a smooth, shiny silver whistle there. The whistle was very small and intricately made. It had a small, unique inscription on it. The inscription was one of the old symbols. It was the same writing on the cellar walls. Tom carefully took the small silver whistle. The whistle felt cool and smooth in his hand. He knew this was the next key or tool. He looked up at the quiet blue lens again. The lens had stopped glowing completely now. The 4 windows were completely clear again. The sunlight filled the room with bright light. The tower was completely silent once more. Tom put the small silver whistle away now. He placed it safely inside his warm coat pocket. He knew he had to go back downstairs now. He needed to figure out the whistle's purpose. He walked toward the steep iron steps now. He looked back at the powerful blue lens. The lens had done its secret work now. He started his descent down the long stairs. The climb down was easier but still long. The mystery was getting deeper for Tom. He held the small silver whistle tightly. He was ready for the next discovery now. Tom climbed down the iron steps very carefully. The descent was long and quite tiring now. He was thinking about the small silver whistle. He knew the whistle was the final item. He finally reached the first dark floor below. This floor was empty and full of old dust. He looked around the small, cold space now. He remembered the thick, dark wooden door. He had tried the handle before, but it was locked. Tom walked over to the heavy, thick door now. The wood was old and felt very rough. He examined the door's surface closely now. He looked for a keyhole or a small handle. There was nothing visible on the old wood at all. The door was completely smooth and very sealed. Tom remembered the small silver whistle now. The whistle had the strange carved symbol on it. He took the smooth whistle from his warm pocket. He held the cool silver carefully in his hand. He looked at the door and then the whistle. Tom put the small whistle to his lips now. He took a deep breath and blew gently. He did not want a loud, shocking noise. The whistle did not make a regular sound now. It produced a clear, high, musical note. The note was pure and vibrated loudly now. The sound echoed in the tall, empty tower. As the sound ended, the door reacted now. A small part of the heavy wood moved. A faint outline appeared on the door's surface. It was the exact shape of the small silver whistle. The outline was almost invisible to the eye. Tom carefully pressed the silver whistle there. He pushed the smooth metal gently into the wood. The whistle fit exactly into the small space. It was the perfect match for the outline now. The entire heavy wooden door began to move. It swung inward slowly without a sound. It revealed a very dark room behind it. The air was colder here and felt very still. Tom pulled the small silver whistle back out. He shone his strong flashlight into the room. The room was not round like the tower now. It was a large, square, central chamber. In the center, there was a big stone chest. The chest was made of black, shiny stone. It was very big and looked extremely heavy. The chest stood on 4 carved stone legs. The stone legs were shaped like small fish. Tom walked into the large, cold chamber now. The walls were covered with the same old symbols. The symbols seemed to swirl around the stone now. Tom went over to the massive stone chest. He saw a circular indentation on the top. The indentation was round and quite deep now. It looked exactly like the blue glass lens. He realized the blue lens was the final key. He had left the heavy lens at the tower top. He needed to climb all the way back up now. Tom felt a little tired but very determined. He knew the final secret was very near. He carefully put the silver whistle away. He quickly left the central chamber now. He walked back to the cold iron steps now. The steps seemed endless and very high. Tom started his long ascent once more now. He climbed quickly toward the light above him. He knew the stone chest was waiting now. The adventure was about to truly finish. Tom climbed the tall iron steps once more. The upward journey felt very long now. His legs ached, but his heart was strong. He had a clear goal at the tower top. He needed the heavy blue glass lens now. The lens was the key to the stone chest. He finally reached the top room again. The bright sunlight filled the circular space. The blue lens sat calmly on the pedestal. Tom quickly walked over to the blue glass. He carefully lifted the heavy blue lens out. The cool glass felt smooth and very heavy. He secured the important lens in his coat. He looked out at the wide, open sea now. He saw his small boat rocking gently below. He knew he had to finish this mystery now. Tom started his descent down the long stairs. He walked down past the dark landings now. He reached the floor with the big door now. He carefully pushed the heavy door inward. He stepped back into the central chamber now. The air was cool and very still inside. The large, black stone chest waited there. Tom walked over to the heavy stone chest. He looked at the circular indentation now. The circle was deep and perfectly round. He took the heavy blue lens from his coat. He gently placed the glass lens into the groove. The blue lens fit exactly into the space now. The entire black stone chest started glowing. A faint, soft light came from the stone now. The light was a deep, intense blue color. The stone chest made a low, resonant sound. The sound hummed softly through the quiet room. Tom watched the stone chest closely now. The light pulsed 3 times slowly there. Then, the heavy black stone lid began to lift. It lifted straight up without a single sound. The massive lid slowly rested on the chest's back. Tom shone his light into the dark opening now. He was very excited to see the great secret. He expected to see shiny gold coins inside. He expected to find ancient silver treasure. But the chest was not full of metal wealth. It contained a simple, heavy copper bell. The bell was old and covered in green patina. It had a strange, square hole on its side. There was also a final piece of paper there. The paper was held under the copper bell. Tom carefully lifted the copper bell out. It was much heavier than he expected now. He placed the heavy bell onto the floor. He took the last folded paper now. He unfolded the paper with quick hands. The message was written very clearly now. It was not a clue, but a true explanation. The paper told the history of the light. The lighthouse was not built for simple ships. It was a weather station for the whole coast. The blue light signaled storms very far away. The whispers were the sound of the deep sea. The sea spoke through the tower's thin walls. The bell was meant for a local purpose now. When storms were very near the coast now, the bell had to ring 3 times loudly. The sound warned the local fishermen then. The square hole was for the silver whistle. Tom realized the simple final step now. He had found a great responsibility now. The real treasure was helping his whole town. He felt very proud and very strong now. He was the keeper of the whispering light. Tom looked at the copper bell on the floor now. He understood his new, great task fully. He was the keeper of the town's safety. The lighthouse was a gift of protection now. He knew he had to test the bell quickly. He put the blue lens back on the chest. He wanted to close the heavy stone chest first. The black stone lid moved down slowly now. It sealed the copper bell securely inside. The blue light faded completely away now. The room returned to its cold, dark state. Tom knew the bell was ready to be rung. He had to use the small silver whistle now. He walked back to the heavy stone chest again. He carefully put the silver whistle in. The whistle fit exactly into the square hole. He pushed the smooth whistle inwards now. A loud, clear, resonant clang sounded. The heavy copper bell was ringing now. The sound was deep and very powerful. It echoed loudly through the stone chamber. Tom quickly pulled the whistle back out. The powerful sound stopped immediately then. The bell worked perfectly as intended. Tom felt a deep sense of commitment now. He had to bring the bell to the top. The warning needed to travel very far now. He realized the copper bell was too heavy. He could not carry the heavy bell upstairs. He looked for a different solution quickly. He remembered the old iron steps now. There must be a way to lift heavy objects. Tom walked to the far side of the dark room. He shone his light on the stone ceiling now. He saw a rusty metal hook there. The hook was directly above the stone chest. He saw a thick, old rope nearby now. The rope was coiled in the room's corner. Tom realized there was an old pulley system. This system was used to lift the heavy lamp. He could use this pulley for the copper bell. Tom quickly took the thick, old rope now. He tied the rope to the heavy copper bell. He made a strong, secure knot easily. He began pulling the rope upward now. The rope went through the metal hook above. The heavy copper bell rose slowly now. It moved up toward the dark ceiling hole. Tom climbed the iron steps ahead of the bell. He guided the heavy bell up each floor. It was hard work, but he worked quickly. He finally reached the top room again. The heavy copper bell was now safely there. He set the bell next to the lens pedestal. Tom looked out at the vast, wide sea now. The sky was still blue and very clear. Suddenly, the sky began to look different. A dark line appeared on the horizon now. The dark line was rapidly growing larger. The sea began to change its color now. The waves grew higher and moved faster. Tom recognized the signs of a quick storm. The sea was sending its deep warning now. He had to signal the town immediately now. This was his very first serious test now. Tom took the small silver whistle quickly. He placed the whistle in the bell's square hole. He pushed the smooth whistle very strongly now. The copper bell sounded a massive clang. He pulled the whistle out quickly now. He pushed the whistle in a second time. The bell sounded another loud clang. He pulled the whistle out again now. He pushed the whistle in one final time. The bell roared the third and final clang. The powerful sound rushed across the water. The sound carried far to the coast now. Tom had given the urgent warning. He hoped the fishermen heard the loud sound. He knew he had done the right thing now. He was the loyal keeper of the light now. Tom watched the dark storm approaching fast now. The wind suddenly hit the tall tower hard. He knew his warning arrived just in time. The powerful bell sound saved the fishermen. Tom secured the copper bell carefully now. He placed the heavy blue lens safely down. He looked out over the wild, restless sea now. The waves were crashing against the island rocks. He quickly climbed down the steep iron steps now. He passed the dark, locked door on the floor. He went down into the quiet, cool cellar now. He carefully put the stone slab back in place. He smoothed the small pebbles over the stone. No one would find the secret entrance now. He climbed out onto the gray, wet rocks now. The wind was fierce and blew very strongly. He secured the small boat, the Blue Wave, again. Tom knew he could not sail back home now. The sea was too rough and too dangerous now. He had to wait until the storm passed completely. He found a dry, safe corner in the cellar. He had food and water and his warm coat. The soft, strange whispers were loud now. They sounded like the storm's own deep voice. Tom listened to the sea talking to the walls. He finally understood the whispering sounds. The lighthouse was perfectly designed for this. It caught the sound of the ocean storms. Tom rested in the dark, safe cellar now. He was very tired but completely content. He thought about his exciting adventure now. He found the secret and saved the local fleet. He was the young keeper of the lighthouse now. The storm lasted for many long hours now. Finally, the winds began to slow down. The loud sound of the sea lessened now. Tom knew the storm was completely gone now. He waited until the morning light appeared now. He climbed out onto the wet, clean rocks now. The sun shone brightly on the wet stones. The sea was calmer and very blue again. Tom went down to his small fishing boat now. He untied the strong rope from the rocks. He climbed into the blue wave quickly now. He started the small motor with a strong pull. The boat moved out of the rocky bay now. Tom sailed back across the wide, blue sea. He felt immense joy and quiet peace now. He saw his small town coming closer now. He steered the boat into the quiet harbor. His father and many people were waiting now. They looked very worried but completely relieved. His father hugged him very tightly and warmly. "We heard the bells warning clearly," he said. "The sound was very loud and very strong." Tom explained about the old lighthouse now. He told them about the bell and the blue lens. He told them he had restored the old warning. The townspeople were all very grateful now. They knew Tom had saved the entire fishing fleet. Tom became the hero of his small town now. He kept the lighthouse a complete secret. He only told his father the necessary details. His father promised to help him always now. Tom now goes out to the island often. He takes his small boat, the Blue Wave. He maintains the old lighthouse carefully now. He checks the blue lens and the copper bell. He is ready for the next dark storm always. The lighthouse is the town's true protection. The whispering sounds are his secret guide. Tom is the brave keeper of the light now. He found more than just a simple treasure. He found his true, important purpose now. His life by the wide sea is now perfect. He protects his town and his dear family. The mystery of the light is safe now. This is the end of Tom's first journey.